the loan portfolio manager at the bank, logs into the application. On his personalized dashboard, the information is arranged in different panels: alerts, scorecards, reports, and analysis. His attention is drawn to the various alerts and messages that are awaiting him. An alert that has been automatically posted by the system informs him that the growth rate in personal loans is lower than 10%, which is the trigger value for the alert configured as a business rule in the system. His attention then is immediately drawn to the scorecard pane, where he can clearly see the calculated value for the key performance indicator, KPI. Growth rate in personal loans has indeed been calculated over the most recent period, showing a value much less than the target and hence the cause of the alert. The KPI display on the scorecard provides the following information to the user: the period over which the KPI is calculated, the actual value calculated for the period, the target that had been set for the KPI. The signal, which is a graphical color-coded symbol, can highlight those KPIs that need attention over the entire scorecard. In this case, the color coding for successive bands of target achievement moves from red, orange, yellow, light green, dark green, signifying performance achievement from worst to the best. So, the KPIs which have the performance signal as yellow or orange or red would be the ones that command the first priority to be pursued. The deviation arrow next to the signal represents how the performance is compared to target for the period in question fares vis-a-vis the previous period. Example, whether the performance has worsened. A downward pointing arrow. Rolling the mouse over the deviation symbol shows up the deviation in percentage from the previous calculation of the KPI. The next column can have the value calculated for the KPI for the previous period. The industry benchmark value for the KPI may be found in the next column. Moving further, the user gets a chance to analyze a KPI performance in a graphical interface. There are the following options: cause-effect map, compare, QC chart, and trend chart. For instance, let us look at the trends for the KPI whose performance is in red. The plot shows the trend over periods for the ratio of non-performing assets, NPA, over the total assets against the backdrop of performance bands over periods. The cause-effect map can be used to show the causal relationships between different KPIs. Here, if we look for the growth rate KPI, the KPIs that may influence the growth rate as well as those that may be influenced by it are depicted visually with their respective performance grades. Comparison chart allows a graphical representation to compare performance between different KPIs in a period or for a single KPI over periods. The next action that a user can choose to perform is collaborate with his fellow managers or decision makers. This he can choose to do by means of making a comment on a particular KPI performance. The comments and observations that a user puts up are visible to all other users looking at the particular KPI. Sending targeted alert messages to a specific set of users. These alerts will appear on the dashboards of respective users and by choice can also be directed to their email to send to their handphones via messaging services, SMS. Raising an issue which would necessitate some other user to undertake a set of activities which can be towards bringing improvements to the KPI performance. In this case, the user raises an issue over the unacceptable growth rate in personal loans to his business development managers who are pushing these products in the market that they have to come up with an action plan to improve the sales. The raised issue will appear on the respective dashboards of the business development manager. The originator of the issue can browse through the list of issues sent and review them for follow-up or closure. The collaborative management functionality of the tool is a powerful tool to catalog and trace all the communications that have been initiated and followed up and can be looked up for reference at any time in the future. The next action that can be performed from the scorecard pane is to open up a relevant analysis or report which provides further details on the calculated value for the particular KPI. For example, if the overall growth rate for personal loans have been disappointing, are there particular products which have really not performed as per expectations? Which ones are they? The analytical workbench allows the user to flexibly configure his or her query by dragging and dropping business terms for analysis, filtering data selections, drilling down levels of aggregation to finer details. For instance, now if the user would like to see the performance of the overall loans portfolio across the branches of the bank, he would just have to make a few easy drag-drop moves to look at the performance of a particular branch. Now for the details about the loans displayed, the user would be interested to see their distribution by ranges of interest rates asked for the loans, a simple move to change the view. Then, having drilled down into the loans for a specific interest rate for a particular branch, the user can drill through to the loan level details. Here, the loan account data are available with all the specifics. The comprehensive logical data model contained in the UDB puts an entire universe of attributes and measure pertaining to loans, which can be selectively dragged in to achieve a huge array of business questions to be answered. The other features of AR are export to Excel and export to PDF. We will now switch over to the graphical visualizations of the data. The flexibility we saw in configuring the data views can be extended just as easily to form insightful charts and maps. Asset distribution. Count of assets by various interest rate buckets for the bank over periods. Asset distribution by various interest rate buckets across zones. Analyze the asset distribution in terms of the loan outstanding amounts. The outstanding loan amounts in different interest ranges for zones. Analyze the accounts classified as performing versus non-performing in different zones in different interest ranges. The share of different zones in terms of counts of accounts, outer circle versus the outstanding loan amounts, inner circle for performing and non-performing assets. Changing over to a tree map view. Tree map views for data visualization in dual queues of size and color coding. Example, the distribution of the loan outstanding amounts in different interest rate ranges, size, along with the recovery performance, color. It is easily evident that the bulk of the outstanding amounts are for loans in the interest rate ranges 13 to 15%. And the recovery performance is questionable for loans in interest ranges 11% to 13% and 7 to 9%, even though these loans represent a smaller proportion of the overall outstanding. The coloring indicators and number of coloring bands are as per the user's choice. A different view. The distribution of loan outstanding amounts in different organization units of the bank where the lending are also classified by the industry type. Here again, the color signifies the recovery performance of the loans. This clearly shows which organization units of the bank have the larger share of the assets and if there are recovery performance issue for specific industry segments. Roll over the shapes to display the identity of the organization units and the details. Zoom down into the organizational structure to closely analyze the details of the portfolio performance of a specific branch. There are multiple specifically configured analyses in the product which address different business questions and areas of inquiry. Example, NPA movement, lending channels, yield rates, etc. Each of them are as flexible and versatile to extend the scope of querying to completely cover every possible information need of the decision maker. Here is the list of the various analyses available in the loans module. There are different dashboard layouts possible, like the user-designated personalized graphical views, as shown here. To summarize, it was just demonstrated the ease with which the entire information on loans is made available to the user on his or her personal computer. Ramco Decision Works. Ramco Banking Analytics is based on the fully functional and integrated business intelligence platform of Ramco, Ramco Decision Works. Ramco DecisionWorks has evolved over a period of 7 years and is currently running version number 7.0, released to the market in October 2009. It has several customer installations globally. Benefits: the distinguished benefits. Pre-built, ready-to-run analytics. Low initial investment, quick off the block. Complete cross-functional view of banking business. Encompasses different domains of analysis. Easy intuitive interface for end user with comprehensive features. One-stop solution for collaborative decision-making and performance management. Scorecards, reporting, alert and workflow, ad hoc querying. Converge analysis and control. Effectively synergize GRC and analytics. Product approach to analytical content. Managed and scheduled releases of analytical content increments to customers using implemented solution. Effectively harnesses the processing power of latest technology platforms for scale, speed, reliability. Provides single version of truth. A cost-effective, integrated performance management application. Ramco Banking Analytics is truly an intelligence augmented to the banking exercise by providing valuable insights into its own portfolio and performance.